Hey guys, welcome back to Psychology of Rock, where we take deep dives into the philosophy and psychology behind the artists that rock the world. My name is Nina, and today we're taking a look at the psychology behind the rising success of the band The Warning, and why I think they are about to take over the world. Now, if you're already a fan of these incredible musicians, then you know what I'm talking about. And if this is your first time hearing about them, I am excited for you because this band rocks in every way. And it is just so awesome to find new music that is worth listening to. But before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely leave a comment with your thoughts about The Warning. I would love to hear what you had to say because they have definitely changed my musical world. Now, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I have found it so difficult to find new bands that I can really connect with. And this has been going on for at least 10 years. And it's something that really bothers me because not only am I a musician, but I am a huge music fan. And music is a huge focus in my life. It's like therapy for me. And I know if you're watching this, you probably feel exactly the same way. I mean, I find some songs by new artists that I kind of like, or I like some aspects about some bands, but I never really feel that connection that I feel with the bands that I've been listening to for decades. In fact, people tease me all the time and always ask me why I listen to such old music. And it's not because I'm some kind of musical snob. I'm not a musical elitist. It's just that I can't find anything recent that compares with the music that I currently listen to. But then one day I stumbled across the song Evolve, and it was like the heavens opened up and I was like, what is this music? So I immediately went and ran a search and found out it was the band The Warning, and I have been obsessed ever since. I had no idea how a band this talented could have slipped under my radar for so long, or why they didn't have a bigger commercial success, because they definitely deserve it. And that was probably about a year ago, and they have gained a lot more recognition since then. But I have a suspicion they are about to get huge, and so today I wanted to talk about exactly why I feel that way. So I'm going to start by giving a quick biography, and then I'm going to offer my thoughts and analysis. So starting at the beginning, who is this amazing band? Well, The Warning are three sisters from Monterrey, Mexico. Daniela on guitar and lead vocals, Paulina on drums, and Alejandra on bass. And one of the crazy things about this band is that they are so incredibly young. So at the time of making this video, I believe that Alejandra, who they call Ali, is 17. Paulina, who they call Pau, is 19. And Daniela, who they call Danny, is 22. Yet they are all consummate musicians. They started their musical training when they were practically babies. You can go on YouTube and see clips of them playing classical piano when they're maybe 4 or 5 years old. Not only are they outstanding, but you can see how much they just understand and love music. But they credit the video game Rock Band for changing everything for them, because they started playing this game and fell completely in love with the music. So they begged their parents to switch their instruments so that they could play rock music. So when Danny was about 8 years old, she switched to guitar. Paulina switched to drums when she was about 6 years old, and little Ale was too tiny to play music at the time. She was about 3 years old. But when she was about 6 years old, they got her a bass. It was still too big for her to hold, so she actually started playing when she was about 7. So of course they started taking lessons and practicing diligently, but they really wanted to perform as a band, so they started learning all these rock and metal covers and then recording them and putting them up on YouTube. And one of the clips they did was Metallica's Enter Sandman, which now I think has like 23 million views. And it's just incredible to see these young people just handle such complex music so well and just be performing it so fiercely. And so they started getting some recognition for that. And even Metallica went on record saying how talented they felt that this band was, and later on asked them to actually record the song for one of their albums. So fast forwarding to now, they have been writing and recording their own original music for about 7 years now. They have toured extensively and just put out their brand new album, which is called Error, and I absolutely recommend that you check that out. So all of that being said, as promised, I want to talk about why this band stands out so much, what makes them so great, and why I think their popularity is only going to grow. So starting with the obvious, I think that the world is just really hungry for quality music right now. And even though you and I may really love rock music, it is definitely not in the mainstream anymore. It's simply not as popular as it once was. I think, unfortunately, music really turned to the commercial side. It's much more about the presentation and about the packaging than about the actual music in a lot of cases. And in my opinion, a lot of the bands that have come out are really heavily focused on gimmicks, or they lack the energy or the passion that the genre is really known for. So for people that really love rock and metal music, they are simply ready for something substantial, something, that is really worth listening to come out. And I think with everything that's gone on over the past couple of years, people are ready to have fun again. They are ready for rock to make a comeback. And I think it's great that a lot of the older bands are touring right now, or at least parts of them are touring right now. But I also think that people are ready for something new. So I think the timing is just perfect right now for The Warning. The second reason is simply that The Warning are the real deal. They are not a musical product. They are true artists. They are incredible songwriters. They are incredible musicians, and they have such a powerful presence. They have this perfect combination of being refreshing and new, yet really embodying the spirit of rock, all these classic elements that make the genre so great in the first place. They are confident, they are fearless, yet they are still really fun, which again is something that the genre has been completely missing for so long. And you can completely tell, especially if you get to hear them live, that they are not just going through the motions, that they are truly living this music, and their music holds up. I remember when I got the Mayday EP, I was listening to it back to back over and over and over again. It was just like the music that my ears wanted to hear. I love Dani's riffs. I love her incredible vocals. She is just so dynamic, and she has such an incredible range, and that in combination with Paulina's impeccable drumming and Alejandra's skill at the bass, it just really takes the whole band to another level. I think maybe because they are sisters, they are able to communicate musically on a different level. It seems to be almost like a language to them, whereas if they were just, separate musicians trying to work together, it probably wouldn't seem quite as cohesive. So that's something that really comes across as well. And something that I don't really hear discussed very much about The Warning is how good their lyrics are. I think their lyrics are actually incredibly insightful. They give us kind of an idea about what this generation is going through. I think there's a lot of social commentary there, and I think it's something that's very relatable, and also something that is incredibly well worded and very, very clever. So I think they deserve a lot more credit for their actual lyrics. So as musicians, as songwriters, and as a live act, they check every single box. And again, this is something that I have not been able to say about a new band in years and years and years. In fact, I cannot think of a single criticism of this band. They are so good. And I feel like their popularity has nothing to do with anything except their raw talent. And something that completely blows my mind is that, clearly when you look at them, you can see that these are three very attractive women. Yet it's something that they completely underplay. It has nothing to do with their success. It's something that they do not lead with at all. And that's not to shame acts that do lead with their looks. But I have to say that they are not hiding behind what they look like, and they don't need to, even if they wanted to, because they are that talented. And I think that says a lot about the artists as well. They are not pushing their image, they are pushing their music. And the third reason that I think they are about to get huge is because rock music is in desperate need for a bigger female presence, and I think it is finally ready for one. I think we all know that female musicians have been incredibly underrepresented in the music industry, especially in the genre of rock, and I definitely feel that the tides are starting to shift. I'm seeing more and more female musicians, especially up on social media, gaining some popularity and gaining some recognition. I mean, there have always been incredible female musicians, but I feel like they are finally getting their voice. I think the world is ready for it, and I think The Warning is the perfect band to lead this movement. And I definitely don't think that music should have anything to do with gender. I just think the industry needs to be a little bit more inclusive, and I think artists like The Warning really help to break down these barriers because their popularity has nothing to do with gender. It has to do with skill, it has to do with musicianship. So I think it only drives that point home even harder. So those are some of the many reasons that I think this band is ready to explode, and I certainly hope that's the case because they absolutely deserve it. If you have not yet heard The Warning, go ahead and check them out. Their new album, Error, is a masterpiece from beginning to end. It does have some slower ballads on it, however, so if you are looking for something that is hard and heavy the whole way through, I would recommend the Mayday EP. That is my absolute favorite, but again, you really can't go wrong when you are listening to The Warning. So those are my thoughts on this incredible band, and I would love to hear yours, so don't forget to leave a comment down below. I want to thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next week.